Welcome back to Factorio, or rather Vanilla Factorio-ish. It's going to start off with that mod, this series, and we're doing this as sort of practice before the next really big update to Factorio in January. That's 0.17, we're currently on 0.16. And if you haven't heard of Factorio, where have you been? It's on the store on Steam for about £20 normally. And if you haven't already got it, if you're watching this channel, given my other videos, you probably should already have it. Okay, so what are we going to start off with? Well, we're going to start off with a world with rich resources, and our settings are going to be very high for the most part, apart from stone and coal. We're going to reduce that a little bit. Size is very big, and we're going to be turning off the biters. We don't really need the biters. They're not really much of a challenge. They're just slightly annoyances, and you just get in the way of recording and stuff like that. Otherwise, and we can just set this to peaceful mode as well, but there's not really any difference when you've turned off, I think, biters. Yeah, enemy base is very, very low, and size none, including cliffs none. They get in the way. You can destroy them later on, but again, for just a sort of refresher, quick kind of playthrough, then yeah, let's actually leave it like this. So let's generate a preview and see what we've got. I don't really want much sand, so I've set those to dirt, sand, and desert very low, and size, actually, let's just turn it to none. Generate a preview, and that's much nicer. So we've got a large area of water with some copper on this side and some iron on the other side. Let's regenerate that. See if we can find... Yeah, that's even nicer, I think. If we can find some stone. There looks like a little bit of stone right there in the middle. Maybe that'll be enough. Let's give this a go. Let's say play. Yeah, okay. And close this off. Yes, it's the free play. And do we have any stone nearby? Was I right? Well, there's a little bit of, there's a stone rock there. Yeah, we do. We have some stone here. That'll get us started. This seems to be fine to get started with, and let's get going. As usual, first thing to craft is an iron axe, which will let us get resources quicker. And we're just going to place down our furnace and our first burner down on iron, and then go and try and find some wood. Or, in fact, we can get some coal as well. That'll actually work as well. This won't be quite as fast as getting the wood, but it will get us started. And let's just split this. So, right, oh, whoops. Yeah, forgot my control key. And that will get us started with some iron. Back to some more coal. And then we're going to get some more stone and then get started with more mining drills and more furnaces. So first couple of mining drills, straight off away, we're going to get them to generate more coal for us. So we'll place them pointing at each other, like this. In fact, I'll press Alt so you can see where they are at all times. And we just need to start them off with just one piece of coal. Well, let's just say 2. And let's drop them like that. Control right click drops half. Control left click drops whatever's remaining. So that will do fine. Next bit, of course, we're going to get started with some stone. In fact, I've already got some stone. I can do some more mining drills once we get more iron plates. And we're also going to want a box, so I'll get this started with both of those. Do I want to place this way? Let's place it that way. Put the box down. And I'm going to need a little bit more fuel. I don't have long reach. That's one of those things that I may end up having to install, but this means as it is, it's vanilla, so you'll be able to educate yourself. So that's going to start supplying us with stone. With that said, we're going to want a lot more iron coming in, so we're going to need to build some more better mining drills and a couple of stone furnaces. We expand and do the same thing for copper. 3 of them to get started. Got 3 iron, but we probably want a few more. Let's just make 1 more iron just to keep everything going. And that should be complete shortly. Then we're also going to need a pump, and we'll need probably a couple of steam engines, so we may as well make them, and a boiler. And let's get all those queued up. So let's put that there. We want another stone furnace, and then we want to look for where our power supply is going to come from. It's going to be pretty difficult to get it anywhere other than... We probably want this space here, I think, because we're going to feed in coal, and it's going to come this way, probably. And if we have it available near where we're going to put the rest of our power plant, that will be good. So from here, maybe... something like that. We're going to need some pipe work, so that's going to need iron, of course. We've got 2 steam engines, 1 boiler. That will get us started, and we're going to need a little bit more though. So let's just get that, and let's just refuel ourselves. Control right click drag. And that's where extended, is it extended reach? Something like that. I can never remember the name of it. Extended even distribution, sorry, that's the one I was thinking of. Comes in very handy if you want to install that mod as well. Again, I'm staying with just vanilla at the moment. And yeah, let's grab all of you. It's enough to start up with some pipe work, and then we'll get everything sort of put into place. So our first boiler can go here. Steam's going to come at the top, and let's just put it something like there. All right, then we want to go a couple of pipe to ground. There we go. Now we can put the steam engines in place. We're going to need some small electric poles, which we're going to need some wood, of which there's very little around. So I need to go and find a little bit. There's some down here. You don't need very much to start off with, just a little bit. Any more around? No? Okay. Let's just, I may have to prioritize making the electric poles then, but that's fine. Let's just put one there to start off with, so it stops complaining, and I'm just going to put in some coal there. We then also need a lab to get started, and then we're going to need some red science. It's going to be renamed logistics science or automation science, one of those two. We're going to want 10 of those, so we'll get those crafting while we carry on and just pick up and keep refueling everything over here. Our lab can go down. Let's put it right next to our steam engines to start off with, and dump in some red science. Get that going. That will open up logistics to start, which gives us the underground belt, fast inserter and splitters. The next one after that will be automation. That'll give us the assembling factories and long-headed inserters. So we shall get going with that. Again, no mods, so I can't do the configurable inserter stuff from Bob's mods, which is very nice. I do quite like those, but no, I want to keep this to a nice, good playthrough of vanilla. There we go. So lots of copper pipe work. And we can make more red science packs, but we're not going to want to for too much longer. I've got plenty of stone and coal. Now I want to make sure this is kept fired up, and then we are going to want to start building transport belts, but not quite yet. Okay, well, I don't have much wood. We did manage to make enough for 35 or so, so let's get some power poles over this way. I'm just going to hold this down. It'll just plant them automatically at the maximum range, which is exactly what we're going to need. And I didn't plan that, but that's quite nice that it just passes by those. Let's just put that away for now, because we're going to switch immediately to the electric versions. So I'm going to want those. Can I remember the exact way to organize this for maximum efficiency? I want to say it's something like this. And if I'm wrong, well, fine. But we'll put another row there, and then we'll lead up. So we have 2 next to each other like this. And let's just get those power poles in. And when we want to start manufacturing belt, we'll do that in an automated fashion very soon. So logistics is done, so let's get automation started. And hopefully that has enough red science packs left. I have a few in my inventory to be able to do the rest. There we go. How many have you got left? Oh, you should have just about enough to get through automation. Good. And we'll do the same thing for copper. So we have 4 more electric mining drills, and I'm going to send them sort of up this direction. So why don't we just think about them around about here? So if we got another power pole, whoops, not there. That'll do. Okay, we'll remove that later, but for now, let's just put them in like this. Similar fashion. Yeah, similar fashion. Let's just put one there. One there. Like that. There they go. Let's just move those over here. Middle click to reserve that slot for that particular item. And that's going to start producing copper going that way. And then we're going to have iron going the same way, but just from over here towards wherever we're going to put our furnaces. There we go. And we'll do something temporary just to get started with those. Let's just fill up. These aren't going to be here much longer. In fact, we better make sure we fill them. And I've got quite a bit of coal, so it's okay to just keep filling these for now. I want to keep that... whoops. Yeah, I want to keep all that stone as well. And we'll make sure we're supplying with all of these, at least for the moment. Automation's done as well. Next one, I'm sort of want steel maybe, but that's going to be 50 science packs. It's not going to be able to do much progress towards that. Up here then, we're going to need some inserters, and we're going to need some more furnaces. So furnaces, I have lots of stone available to do that. We'll use these default stone furnaces to get started. And if we have power, we can use the powered inserters from here. So let's make some more of those as well. Same thing is going to apply for coal. We're going to use electric mining drills, and we may as well just build those right next to these power poles-ish. Yeah, right there will do. Save a little bit on power poles. And there we go. Just some belt to get started. In fact, we may actually want to send it the other way, because we may want to send some over here to the right. So why don't we just reverse that for a second? And we'll use a splitter at the other end just to separate things out in two different directions. Splitters, there we go. Just get one of them to get started, and that will do the job. Splitter. There we go. So one set of coal is going to go that way. This set of coal is going to go this way, and we should be okay. That's going to back stuff, but we don't need to worry about that just yet, because we can just use sort of manual methods for the moment. I'm going to use a split belt design to get started with the furnaces. We will probably refine that later, but to get started, it's nice and fast. So we're just going to want to have them like this, and we're going to want to have coal coming in this way. Then up here, usual sort of layout for this kind of thing. Leave a gap, and we should end up with two belts, one either side, but coming out with essentially, one second, coming out with our product, in this case iron plates, and then the gaps in the middle are for power poles, which we can power, hopefully, if we just hit it this way. There we go, that should be all powered up, and then we can use inserters, as you might imagine. And just feed them manually with coal to get started. So first factory I'm just going to put as a temporary thing, just going to feed it off this side. Don't really need it for any other purpose than just making me more stuff automatically. And in particular, we want to be able to make gears and belt. And that will stop me from having to handcraft them. Let's just rearrange this stuff so that everything is in the right place. There we go. So we'll just place this here, 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 and then we're going to need some manual belt, but that's not going to take too long. And then we need to be able to make gears on one, and we need to make belt on the other one. So there it goes. Belt needs plate and gears, so we'll be able to feed that from here like this, and just feed it a little bit of power, and everything should start. We'll then just box, this up on the output. Let me just box it up here, actually. Is that in range of the power? Could do with the configurable inserters here. That's slightly annoying. Let's just put it there for now. And place our last power pole there. Okay, that's starting to manufacture belt, and I need to worry about that again for a little while. We're probably going to need to do the same thing for pipe work, and thankfully pipe work also in fact pipe just needs iron plate, so we can just put another box, maybe, I don't know, here, and we'll feed it with another factory. Again, I shouldn't need this straight away, but I may as well just set it up while it's there. And we'll feed this thing with the same kind of sort of output from our starter furnace array anyway. All this will get moved later with our factory. And let's just tell it to make pipe. There we go. And insert. Inserters are going to be the next thing we're going to probably want as well automatically. And you're going to be fine. Need one more. And another power pole. Where is power poles? Power distribution, isn't it? Power distribution, maybe? Distribution. There we are. Red and green gets us the big electric pole and the medium. I want the small one, however. Do we get that as part of steel, or is there a small one in vanilla? It's been a while. That's the only precursor anyway. Okay, so we're going to have to get steel. And that's relatively quick once we get red science production on the run, which we can now, pretty much now that we have a source of iron. So let's just grab this side as well. And I'll finish off in the middle, get us quite a bit more of this going, and then start our sort of production by getting the fuel across here as well. Let's just grab that belt and head down here for routing the belt. And we'll route it sort of, or route it if you're American, this way. And we'll bring it across here to arrive right there. There it is. That's that one sorted. And we'll also send the other supply going the other way. Although I don't have much belt left going this way. And then we'll be able to hook it straight into the steam engines. And I'm going to set up red science again over here this time instead of over, next to the science, next to the steam engines even. So I'm going to want to just create a couple of gear factories. I think it's a couple. I can never remember the exact layout for these, but again, we'll just go for gears. Copy and paste that over. And in fact, do we want those next to each other? Maybe. And from there, we're going to want to make red signs. That needs copper plate in addition to the others, but I've just be able to. I've got lots of manual copper plate to get started. Well, burner inserters we're not going to need anytime soon. So let's just get started with electric inserters. Burner inserters I've already set up down near the steam engines. We're just going to feed in a bit from a burner inserter from the coal line. So that should keep the electricity on while we get on with everything else. And there we go. So we will feed those in. And then we'll also feed them over here. And this just needs copper, which we can feed in from a box for now. From here. There we go. That's making red science, and the red science we're going to just feed into another box, maybe? And from there into a lab. Box can go here, power can go here, and then we can just feed into that via labs. And that can go there. In fact, let's just move this one further over. And that's running. So that's producing our steel research. Okay, now we don't have too many iron production just yet, but enough to get started anyway. Same thing's happening over by the copper, by the way. I just haven't set that up just yet. We've just got it on a belt. I need to do the same thing with furnaces. Scratch that. Gears have made much faster than the red science, so I'll just put them one to one like that. And they're both feeding to the same lab for now. We can actually make more than one lab, but it isn't building back up yet. So until it starts building back up, yeah, we've got 2 in there. Until it starts building back up, don't worry about it. Just get started with the game. And what else are we making over here? How are we getting on? Yeah, let's just make sure these just bring up to 4 stacks. And the same thing here, just 4 stacks will be fine. I'll take all of that belt, of course. And we got huge amounts of stone. So I should probably start thinking about making a lot more stone furnaces. That'll use up the stone. And let me set up copper. And now we're extending these belts all the way up here where they can join in the copper line, which is coming from a similar set of furnaces. Didn't take very long at all. So we're now going to want to think about maybe some kind of starting electronic circuits. So if we just go off this line somewhere around here I don't want to do this too close to the line because we may end up with more belts of iron here. And let's just place them something like that. We're going to want some copper coming over here, so let's just copy and paste those. And then we're also going to want electronic circuits, so we'll copy and paste those. Similarly, we're going to need some inserters, and this is what we're really creating this for, because inserters, to make them automatically, you need iron, which is straightforward, but electronic circuits, which is not quite so straightforward. So let's just set that up and get everything running. So we should end up with something like this, 3 to 2, assuming that's still the right ratio. We'll see that very shortly. This is a nice, neat little sort of setup. These are going to need iron, so we need to feed iron to them somehow. And these just need copper. So we're going to need copper coming over from this side. Let's run them both this way. And copper's going to need to come in this way, like this. For now, let's just feed them under like that. And then we'll put a splitter in. Right there. Like that. And we'll get copper coming in. These just need iron, so we need to feed off the iron somehow, and then we're going to need to feed the output back onto a belt. You can do that however you like, although the sort of nice, simple way of doing that is something I normally go for, which is just to say we have a splitter, and then we feed. I'm not going to worry about using red-handed inserters. You can use them by all means, but I have no real need to, at least at this point. And we'll have all of those hooked up to power once everything gets going. And then we'll just have a couple of underground belts running here and another set of here. So let's just get a couple more of those queued up. And then we'll just have it just feeding outward like this. And we should be able to extend that over. Both of these will go onto each side, of course. They'll both arrive onto a belt, potentially running sort of this way. And we can go underneath as well if we wanted to and load onto both sides. Or we could balance them both together first and then onto a belt. They should quite naturally balance, actually. So why don't I just do it that way? We'll just put them both together like this. And then that can go onto a, well, yeah, it'll end up being the same anyway. Doesn't much matter there, other than aesthetics, of course. And of course, with aesthetics, everything's got to look pretty nice. So let's get all this hooked up. For now, I'm going to put our power poles there. Here we go. And that should start up. And should start producing... Oh, I need a couple more power poles either side. And once we have inserters at the top, a couple more, everything should start up with a couple more power poles. So... that'll be covered with one? No, it's unfortunate. But it'll work. And that should start producing circuits. Circuits we can box up for the moment if we wanted to. Or indeed, since we already have iron here, we could, again, split off. I want to extend this outwards that way. So I don't want to try and put a different kind of factory on the end of it, because then that won't scale very well. In this case, however, we can just go for, once I have some more actual belt, which I can go and grab, I'll put in another factory just to make plates and gears, which is all it needs to be able to automate inserters. Which just about arrives in time because I can't actually make them in this first tier of assembly machine. I need assembly machine 2s, so they just came in. And let's just make a couple of those. And let me just cancel this because we're probably going to want assembly machine 2s in this slot anyway. There we go. And let's put that there. And we should be able to craft them here. So yes, I can get for regular inserters. I need an iron plate, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. Electronic circuits we know we can grab right here. So let's just get a few inserters being built. Here is our iron plate. and we're going to need iron plates, and we're going to need gear wheels 1 to 1. So if we have them running this way, we're just going to want iron plate running onto this side of it. And we'll just split here. And we're going to have gears on the other side. We may have to move this, but that's fine. And that can go in a regular factory, I think, rather than the more expensive kind. I will just move that up a little bit. And we could even fetch and put stuff back onto this belt if we wanted to, but I just don't want to. Yeah, I'd rather keep things separate. So let's just, for the moment, keep things separate with this here. And it's going to need to feed onto the other side of the belt, isn't it? And that's going to be fine, though. I'll just feed it to the left or something along those kind of lines. Gears again. And let's just feed in some iron going this way. Whoops, can't put it there. Got to put it this way. And feed that way. There we go. That should work. And I just need to get a few more power poles. And everything should be connected then. So from that point, we can then put our factories for inserters any point from here onwards. That will do. And one going that way, one going that way. Then we've got to decide what we want to do with the output, of course. So we'll probably have long end inserters for that kind of thing. You can then use this to then craft the next tier of inserters further up if we wanted to do that. But for now, I'm just going to make sure I have a box available that I can go and grab relatively easy just to get me some inserters. There we go. And that should work entirely automatically. It needs this to be powered as well, though. And there we go. You should be fed. You should go. And I get automatic inserters. Again, I'll just make sure there's only like 4 stacks. And that choice of what to automate first was not chosen accidentally, not at all, because we're going to then move our red science setup up here, and we're going to be using that for other things. So, do I actually need, well, will that interfere with this? Is this going to be enough throughput? Let's just create a separate setup. And assuming that I will actually get enough iron coming through here, we will just create a separate setup. So let's just create this as you would, and copy and paste, and this will just produce cogs, gears, whatever you want to call them, and we'll just run them this way. And then we've got to decide what to do for making red science, so they in general can just be running off this red science. It needs copper and it needs iron gear wheels. The iron gear wheels will come onto this belt, so that will work just fine right there. The copper we'll need to grab from a little bit further away, and I think what I'm going to do is just feed the copper back from here again. I'll just split this for now anyway, and we'll just go underground. And we will use long-headed inserters here, which of course we will be able to automate, but for now I'll just make a few. And we'll just put these back in place like this. I'll then create more as we go forwards, but for the moment, there we go. And our long-headed inserters are ready. So we don't need this side at all, at least for the moment. And then I'm just going to get more of this. There we go. One of those installed, one of those, and one more red-handed for the moment. think I'm actually going to need 5 of these, maybe 5 or 6, something like that kind of range will do fine. And then we're also going to need green science, and happily, not accidentally, green science actually comes from adding these inserters and adding the automated belt. The automated belt is all the way down here at the moment, but you remember it is not a terribly complex thing to actually make. So I'm going to leave this one in place because I want that to be my automated setup, so I can pick up, you know, as much belt as I need. And then up here we'll rebuild what we need to make the this kind of thing going. So we're going to need the what is it for this? Plates and gear wheels. Now we do have them both here, so let's give this a go and test whether this can be fast enough. I'm just going to overwrite this gear factory with a blue version, and we'll just do the same thing to create another blue version here. I don't think this one will be needed, but we should have enough coming out. Yeah, that's being used up pretty quickly by this. Okay, so from this then we're going to want green science. So again, we will just make more. I assume we can go with these, but if we're not, we can always upgrade them. There we go. Can you let me create green science? Yes, you will. So I need transport belt and inserters to be provided here if I was going to produce those. But of course, before we get to that, we'll need to put, essentially speaking, making belt, not the green science. So belt it is. And then we also want inserters. So inserters have been provided here, belts being provided here. And yes, we could make a little bit of green science with both of those. So for the time being, again, just a very, very temporary thing. We're just going to create this belt right here with green science on it. With a bit more power. There we go. Both of them coming out. And again, for now, let's just pop a few of these down and we'll see how many of them we need later. Again, probably 6. I think it's 5 for red and 6 for green, if I remember rightly. But it needs enough throughput to actually create the earlier stage. Something that we'll get to. There we go. And just hook everything up. Make sure I grab some inserters. Missing long reach at this point, but I've got a lot of inserters now, so that's not going to be much of an issue. Let's just put them like this. And then we will have the output of green science. Yes. Do I want them like that? Yeah, because I'll be upgrading the poles. It may look weird right now, but in fact I may have to move them in right now. Yeah, I will. I was going to move them further apart because we're going to get to the next set of poles fairly soon. You'll see it says electric energy distribution 1, which has got slightly larger range. But for now, we need to make sure they're in range. So let's just grab those. And like this will do. Just central on each one. Same on the outputs. And then we just have to make sure we put another set of poles. Same thing out here. And I should probably put a couple more assembly machines in place. Yeah, let's put a couple more. Got 5 up there. Let's make another one there to make 6 and see if my memory is actually correct. Now we should then get red and green signs both here, and it's going to have to come out to here, something like that. So we need another assembly machine. So it should provide its green sights to there. There we go. Let's remove that. And we can place those back onto the belt. And same thing on this side, although that's a lot more red science than I was expecting, in my inventory anyway. And then we can just add the science onto the end. And for now, we won't worry about it, but let's put it on this side. Get some power. And power is going to come from here and here, I want to say. So let's make sure it just copes with that. Let me just arrange that neatly. There we go. Insert, insert, insert. Red and green science sorted. That'll produce electric energy distribution, which will then get me remove my need for wood for power poles. And I sped each of these productions up just a little bit with a couple of inserters here, and we can just replace those with the blue ones if we choose. Makes it a little bit neater in terms of how it looks. Doesn't really affect much the speed. Whoops, let me just put that in the right spot. There we go. And the same thing here for the belt. We can just craft a couple more blue inserters. Those won't take very long. And you can see this has got 6 factories now, 6 assembly machines now running. Only 3 down here for red, so I probably should make more red. We have enough there, so there's 3 already, 4 and 5. Get that in place, and then we can just put all these in the usual places. And same thing there. And job done. We've now got 6 science labs running off the end of this, and it's assembling this research just fine. So that's the end of the first episode. Quite a lot done, I think, at least in a half an hour as you've been watching it. And we've got a longer chain of iron plate now running. I did go and add more steam engines down the end down there, and they should be working quite well. In fact, I've not connected the pipe up though, so they won't be on just yet. But if we just connect the pipe up, I've got some in my inventory. There we go. Just the space between boilers needs to go on, and then all those will start working, and we should be fine. Yeah, got more than enough power. I've started off a similar thing around copper, but you don't generally need as much copper to get started. In fact, it does however need fuel. I forgot to run an extra sort of belt of fuel off that way, so I will go and do that off camera after the end of the episode. We'll just run it here, in fact. Oops. Here, in fact. There we go. In fact, I'll do it now. So, if you like the episode, you want to see more of it, give it a thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments if you want to see this kind of thing. It is a nice game to play if you haven't already played this. And, of course, you can more than let me know if you really don't want to see stuff like this. Why not? It's a really good construction game. If you haven't tried it, it's well worth it. It's on the Steam store for about 20 quid, but you can buy it on sale sometimes. In this case, I don't think it's on sale at the moment, but you never know. It's the end of year winter Steam sale, and you can all see it on other platforms too. There we go. And that's the coal sorted for the copper array. Now you can take out these original arrays if you want to. We don't need them anymore, that much is for certain. But I sometimes run past and grab some stone out of this one, or some iron out of this one, just in case I want stuff in my inventory. And coal again here. And my inventory's full. That's the downside. Alright, so I'll see you next episode for a bit more Factorio. And we've got red and green science done. First episode. Pretty cool? I think so. As always, guys, thanks for watching.